40 something and 30
Hey,
something.
all right, everybody. We're gonna do our post tournament, our tournament recap for the Midlands Ferry. Uh, I didn't get to be down there over the weekend, but all the feedback and everything I got, and everybody I've talked to, it was some tough fishing, but still had some good bags come to the scales. So not all those Midlands Ferry crappie could hide from everybody. But if you want to, I'll let you touch on sponsors and host locations.
Uh, we just want to thank Wilcox County Chamber of Commerce for the sponsorship. I want to thank Roland Cooper State Park. They got a great facility with a campground and little tiny houses. People was coming through all hours of the day, cleaning up and checking on things. So a shout out to both of them. If we go back to Miller's Ferry in the future, I'll be making sure I'll be at Roland Cooper again. I'd like to thank our yearly sponsors, Bay Springs Marina, ACC Crappie Sticks, Cole and Sons LLC, First National Bank. Some of our sponsors for product was Delta Jigs, Pops Jigs. Our Division Two sponsor is HH Rod Reels. Um, just a shout out to all of them that trust us with their product and putting a little bit of money into the pot to make things happen. But again, Wilcox County Chamber and Roland Cooper made this one happen this weekend.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start with Brandon. Y'all came back with a pretty good bag on 5 fish. Kind of, what did you see going in? Pre-fishing, whatever. Kind of, how'd y'all make that happen?
Well, we actually found all our fish back in a creek on a flat and stumps and 8 foot of water. I noticed pretty quick tournament morning, we got a bunch of rain that come in that night before the tournament. And I realized pretty quick them fish had moved up. They'd gotten kind of skinny on us, and by the time we realized it, we moved to a different area, but we ended up catching all our fish in the same area a lot of other people were at.
Okay. What about y'all, Scott? Yeah. What'd y'all kind
of? Pretty much exactly about Sunday a week ago after church, we run up there and we found some fish in the back of a creek, and they was, we picked off some 2-pounders, put them right back, and said, well, that's where we're going, And Friday morning we slipped in there, made sure nobody saw us kind of thing, and slipped in there and looked at them, didn't even pick a pole up, looked at them, they just sitting there, just chilling, and lo and behold, like Brandon said, water temperature changed 9 degrees Friday night back in there, and they vanished. We did catch a few that were in the mud. We'd see them move a little bit and kind of pick them up a little bit out of the mud, but then honestly had to go out to the river and kind of finish off and do some culling on some spots that we knew in the river, and just started picking them off of some stumps that we knew of.
So they was in deeper water.
Yeah, all them creeks, on the river, you get a little bit of rain and temperature dropping, and fish usually move. And they got shallower for me in them creeks and them flats. So we got away from everybody else when I realized that, just so wouldn't nobody else realize what we was doing.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I know Jason had told me that he caught all of his in forward of 10 foot of water, so I didn't know if everybody was like shallow or if they had to get back out in the river channel and catch them deeper. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was in pretty much catching the fish. I was in 5 to 4 foot of water.
Yeah, that was us. We were in 5 to 8 foot, and that creek we were in, that was about as shallow as it could get, so I think they just went to the mud on us, and we just couldn't find them. So went and got them on some riverbank,
there any certain jigs or baits that y'all was using that seemed to work better down there over the weekend?
I'm usually always going to be using. I'll have a hair jig tied on one rod and a puddle jumper tied on the other because them river fish just can't stand that puddle jump.
And I'll be honest, we dropped some minnows on some, and it helped us out. We got a few cuttlefish off of some minnows this week.
So the puddle jumper, is that just like a plastic? Is that what that is?
Yes. If you give me a second, I'll show you one.
Yeah, we were tied. We fished Derek ties jigs, and we used pretty much all his jigs, and then some ATX plastics, and then some minnows.
That's usually us. I got some deltas tied on. I got some crappie grubs. I got some ATX stuff.
Yep.
It's usually how we start everywhere we go.
Yep.
You got a little bit of everything tied on and start fine tuning it and trying to figure out, and still got a little bit of a variety on tournament day.
Now, Wesley, I'm old, so I love to see a cork go under too now.
Amen.
Amen. I do too. I'd be his net man, and I put a minnow on the cork and throw it out the back.
I love, they all of them pick on me, but I love to watch a cork go under too.
I ain't against a slip cork and throwing a minnow on a brush pile.
That's a puddle jumper.
Oh, okay. So that tail is split back there. Yep.
Yeah, that thing just flutters on the way down, and you usually catch them on the drop.
Just talking about that minnow on that cork. I fished with him in a Crappie USA tournament one time, and I caught the biggest fish of the day. Only one I caught, but I caught the biggest one on the cork in a minnow.
I still love minnow fish under cork.
We're going to do some minnow fishing with them green lights coming up here after the championship. It starts getting hot, and go out there and drop the lights and put the rods out the holders. And that stuff's still fun to me. The cork and a little bit of everything. Try to get back to not staring at that screen so much all the time and just have a little fun. Or at least be able to communicate with the people on the boat a little bit more. I don't talk much when I get on that screen.
I know Brandon's from this part of the country too, but us folks that grew up on this Tom Bigby River, all that open water fishing on those big lakes kind of spoiled us because we ain't used to all the trash fish and the gar and all that we got around here when we start looking at the screen,
Yeah, that river is absolutely ate up with spoonbill, catfish, gar.
Carp.
And look like some alligators.
A bunch of alligators.
Yeah.
And changes by the minute on the river.
So I guess those fish was up over the weekend roaming on them shallow flats, just kind of up.
Yeah, like I said, before the tournament, 8 foot, 10 foot of water was where I was seeing about all of them. And I know with that rain, I knew something was going to change. Just how and when, because we got probably 2 inches of rain in an hour. So that water was going cool.
Man, that river's got a love-hate relationship. There's been days that catch a nice limit off one stump, and then there's days that it changed from day to day, and then it just mentally, like, what in the world? Ain't none of my spots got no fish on them, and you running around pre-fishing all over again. That's but when it's good, it was good to us.
Yeah, down there, it fished. We hit it at the still kind of at the tail end of that postpone, and then it just wasn't that good. I went back Sunday for a couple hours in the morning, and I had over 12 pounds on my scale. So, I mean, we caught it right at the end.
Yeah, and we did good. But it was sad that we know we were hoping to put 12 pounds on the scales of what we had seen the Sunday before and Friday, and we were real excited, and we pulled in there and they wasn't there. My heart failed, and of course I get nervous. Derek has to keep me calm, but I get nervous, and they're just not there. It was kind of disheartened there for a little while.
Well, I've only been around tournament fishing about 2 years, and I've seen them change from Friday to Saturday so many times. I guess that's just tournament fishing.
It's always going to be something happens right before the tournament. Always.
Yes. And we've hit it lucky this year. You go back to last year, I remember coming to Alabama River at Coder's Pond, and it was 74 and tornadoes on Thursday. And then Saturday, it was like 29 to 32 degrees and the wind blowing 20 mile an hour out of the north. And there
It was cold.
I think 7 people didn't even catch a fish that day, but battled the cold and the wind all day long.
Yeah.
But we've hit it lucky this year. We've had some wind and a little cool at Gunnersville, but other than that, I think we've been blessed this year.
That's
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of years like this one.
No, sir. I do agree.
Jason, feast or famine on the old river. that's it.
It is. You got to be willing to change, and you got to know when you got to do it right off. Because if you don't, you might not catch a fish.
Well, and really, I guess that's river fishing. You know, Pickwick. I talked with Chase down there. You know, I thought maybe it was just me that you go down there and it feels like it's the worst place in the world some days, and then you go down there and it feels like you're Hayden Jeffries that day because it's just that good. But he said that too. That it's oh man, now he's picking on you, Brandon. Says that you sleep with them fish.
If I need to.
Whatever it takes. River fishing. I'm still learning river fishing too because we fished on lakes. Still water lakes growing up. So
I've been fishing on this river my whole life. I'm still learning.
Yeah,
every day.
It's been that's been the biggest thing for the tournaments for me is going around and having to do, just seeing just how different it is down there, like fishing on the river compared to what I grew up doing. When I got into tournament fishing and wanting to try my hand at it, I was like, we do pretty good. We'll be all right. Now, we didn't do
that. The upside to tournament fishing is it forces you to learn new techniques and to look for fish in different areas you wouldn't normally look for, and you can take it back home to your river, your lake, and actually be a better fisherman because you forced yourself into doing something different.
Yeah, and that's helped us a lot. If it hadn't been for the tournament fishing, I would have never had no confidence to ever take nobody out on no paid guide trips because it forced you out of those comfort zones. And there's not many days that we don't do halfway decent up here on the lakes, but you don't have a lot of changes on the lakes. You're fishing the seasons, and unless you had some tremendous flooding, usually you can pattern them fish and hold a pattern through the season. So
I agree with Brandon. This tournament fishing lets you go all over the place, and no two places fish alike. So you got to fish a little different, and you learn different techniques and what these fish do and that fish do, and then you take it back home and use that technique there as well that you learn while you was away from home.
Well, it also, Brandon, y'all exactly right on our part. A lot of these places, first time we ever been to, we have done a lot of research. It's made better fishermen out of me and Derek because we've had to. I read articles and read, everything I can on the internet and everything else about these lakes, So it's made us better and learn how to open water fish because down this way we looking for a treetop or some kind of structure, and that's where they're going to be at. There's not many open flats down here around Coffeyville,
And then all of the different people you meet on this trail or any trail, and pick up little tricks and things to bring back. You learn. It's like nobody is. Well, you ain't going to tell where your honey holes and things is, but if somebody asked you that's trying to learn, most anybody on their trail is going to give them a little advice and try to help them be better. It just makes the competition better.
I'll tell you, the people around these tournament trails, I don't care if they've never placed in a tournament or not. If they got something to say, I'm going to listen.
Yes.
Because you can learn from anybody.
That's true.
Here's a question. Yeah, Ryan Got a question for Derek Howard. When's the north side of Coffeeville Dam going to turn on for those 1 and 2 mile limit?
I mean, it's on now. You just got to find them.
Just got that's the name of it right there. Put trolling motor down and let her eat. And that's been our biggest thing. You know, we've that's helped me the most with covering more water. You know, and I don't know why it took me so long to understand that, because we power trolled. 80-90% of the time we were power trolling before live scope, and that was the name of the game, was cover water. And well, we wasn't covering water with live scope. And I don't know if it's just because I could see them. And it's like, there's a fish and I need to catch that fish, and I spend too much time on fish or too much time in areas when I should have been moving and hunting and looking. And that's helped us a lot, you know, here, especially this year.
One thing that's helped us a lot is knowing what we're looking at, you know.
Yeah.
Knowing when that dink comes out of that top, you take the jig away because you ain't got time to fool with getting him off, you know. Where last year we were fishing the Delta Series, we sit in a treetop just hoping there'd be a big one in there somewhere, and we know we wasn't looking at one. We were just kind of filtering through them, you know. And you know, you just got to move on, got to keep moving, you know. If they're not there, you can't. Somebody told me and Derek both that you can't make a fish appear if they're not there, you know. So you just got to keep going. So
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I've ever done tournament fishing is learning to pass those 1 pound, pound and a half fish. Just look the other way and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard Eric Cagle, Wesley fished the national championship, and I heard him tell Wesley at Grenada that was the hardest thing for him to do, because he guides all the time and he wants to catch every fish, and he felt like that was his downfall for winning more tournaments, is because he was catching too many little ones.
Yeah, especially now with the name of the game, and you look at the guys at the top of the list on score sheets, you know, they're not fishing at those little fish no more, and they're going for what they know they got to catch. And if they catch them, they catch them. And if they don't, then, you know, they know they're not going to win anyway. So I think that's the biggest thing with live sonar, is for tournament fishing, that gets everybody like, that's a nice fish right there. But it's not that. It's not those tournament grade fish for that body of water. And that's been a big thing for us, is like, no, that's a 1.5. We don't need that 1.5, and trying to go on to find that, you know, when in reality, my whole life, I would have never passed up a 1.5, you know, up here fishing. Well, even on Pickwick, you know, you see a 1.5 and you're like, man, that's going to make a good sandwich. I want to catch that fish.
Yeah, and this tournament this last weekend, I threw back probably 3 pound and a quarter, pound 40 fish, and didn't even have fish in the live well, because it was going to cost me time to get up and go back there and mess with them. So I just threw them back and kept going.
Oh, you were solo this weekend?
I had my wife with me, but she ain't doing live well duty yet.
Oh, well, it's more enjoyable for her not to have to do live.
Ain't no doubt.
It's not about you, Brandon. It's about her.
Well, it is. It is about her.
Yeah, and I wish I could have mine out on the boat with me more, but which Scott and Derek got to see little Cohen a while ago, sitting up over my shoulder. That maybe end up being the tournament partner before it's all said and done.
That'll be your dip man right there.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. You know, I wish, but, you know, with us, you know, Candace is tied up on tournament day and doing I still get to have the family involved, and just they ain't on the boat all the time. So that's what I'm looking forward to this summer, is getting out. Because that's like my wife. She's a fair weather fisherman. These tournaments, it's cold, and y'all's wives is putting on the bibs and getting in the boat. No, that ain't happening.
Well, we thought we had a tournament fisherman already, but we went on them long summer hot days and burned him out. So now he only likes to go fishing just every blue moon.
Yeah, that's
And there'll
my
be
second.
times that you're supposed to be going deer hunting, and he'll say, "Daddy, let's go fishing." So Wesley will throw the rods in the boat, and they'll head to the water.
Man, that little son of a gun will wait till it's down 15 degrees outside in the rut, the middle of the rut, and then say, "Hey, let's go fishing," and having to load heaters and all that up. I'm like, man, we could go sit in a shooting house over here and be just fine. No, Daddy, we need to go catch some fish. So, and then like all summer long, he'll be talking about deer hunting. You guys dig them little wires across there. So, but
So next week, are we going to have a cast that on Thursday? Is that what we talked about? Sort of explaining things for the championship.
yeah, I created one, and it probably posted them to the social media pages already. Gonna do kind of an early pre-tournament broadcast. Try to really get the word out on this championship.
What time are you gonna do that?
Be Thursday at 7. I'm just having to fit it into off days right now.
Now you're gonna run into that crappie cast. A lot of
Yeah.
people listen to now.
And we'd already talked about that, but
Yeah.
my May is so jacked up that my May is so jacked up that's the only day that I'll even have an evening to do it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have Ryan with us, and if Mr. Trott can figure the way through the prompts to get to it to talk about the areas, places to stay, so forth and so on, and then we're gonna try to have a second one. That second one will be probably the Monday before, like normal, and so we'll have 2 leading into that, trying to maybe entice some people. Try to get between that 20 and 30 boat maybe for down there. I know we got that many qualified for sure. We had some turnout kind of trickle out down the stretch on these last 2. Well, really didn't have the turnout we thought we would have at Weiss, but so really the last 3 tournaments, the turnout hadn't been as good.
In both divisions, we have close to 40 that's qualified, but that don't mean that all of them will come. So, and I'm going to go ahead and say that is a 2-day tournament for Division I and Division II. That Thursday night, we'll have that little banquet, feed everybody a meal, give away some prizes.
Is that going to be at the pavilion?
At the pavilion at Lincoln Landing. And then Friday and Saturday will be our tournament days. And I'm going to try to get a flyer posted this week. Soon as Candace gets it put together, we'll get it put out. It'll be just like Pickwick for Division I. It'll be a $250 entry fee, 25 big fish. Division II will be $200 and a $25 big fish.
Jason said we need to have 10 tournaments next year.
You come be assistant director, and me and you will.
But now, and touching back on Roland Cooper State Park, didn't get to be down there, but I heard it's nice. I got to kind of see some pictures of what his cabin looked like down there.
And look, I'm not used to just having 5 minutes to travel to the boat ramp either.
Yeah.
You come out of that part and go one street up and turn again, and you at Bridgeport.
No,
Yeah, it's a nice area.
I didn't even have to buy food for Thursday and Friday because he did wings on Thursday in the campground, and Friday he did fish. And
who cooked the wings?
We sat around James and Justin.
That's what I told you the other night. I heard James Trott can cook.
Yep, he did.
Let's see. We got somebody else. So Scott should have to pay everybody's entry fee for all the money he's won.
No. Yeah.
Well, if he wins the championship, it'll pay out better for the championship. So then he ought to refund some of his money back, I guess.
Yeah.
But now, if I was somebody coming down there, if y'all had any advice for anybody coming down to Miller's Ferry just to put some sandwiches in a cooler to take home, where would y'all start at?
It's really piles. I mean, they're piles in right there in the same cut as Roland Cooper is.
Yeah.
You just scan any of them piles are absolutely loaded with eater fish. Or about every pile out there now, and all these creeks are just loaded with small fish.
Yep.
Because I know that we got some that may tune in or watch or keep up that they don't necessarily care about the tournament fishing. They just go in places, try to catch a fish fry, and hey, I ain't against that either. That's still.
If they come fish with us, they'd learn a little bit more.
Yeah, they just true.
And then they wouldn't have to tune in.
No.
But Brandon's right. There's so many folks who've done so much work in that area. You know, some of the old legends, they've got so much. If you'll put your head down and watch that screen, you'll find a lot of stuff that people have, from state beds to, you know, you head way on up north, you'll find some locals up there. They you can tell by the chainsaw cuts on some of them trees. It's back 5-6 years. You know, they'll drop a tree every once in a while in there. You know, so you just have.
In 1 month after Christmas, a couple of years ago, I put in over 200 Christmas trees. So yeah, that's constantly stuff being put in.
When y'all do that, what's y'all's go-to method of, you know, do y'all go take a chainsaw on the boat and go put them out? Do y'all bring y'all's own stuff on a trailer and load them in?
Well, my deeper stake beds, I got a little. It looks like a little missile that I can lock them stakes in and then just drop them overboard, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of my piles, I'll have me some concrete buckets and I'll just pull up to the bank in the winter. That's when I like to put stuff out. And I got a little battery powered sawzall and just cut limbs and tie them on and drop them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what, even for me, you know, because I asked that question, but I got some little PVC drivers for stake beds, but man, them things will wear you out. You know,
Tie you a 2-liter bottle in the top and make it stand up. You know,
on the stake driver, or
on like treetops and stuff, bundles.
I got you.
When a wife gets ready to cut all the crepe myrtles at the house, they make great. You know, just bundle them up and tie you a 2-liter in the top, some blocks in the bottom, and they'll stand up.
I got a bunch of crepe myrtles in my yard, but my wife, she's not going to be as loving about the making a crappie bed out of her good crepe myrtles right now. But we hear about the 27-minute mark, you know, because this ain't about sharing waypoints or nothing like that. It's just general information. Maybe somebody can go in and catch them a mess of fish down there. But I got one more thing. While I got y'all on here, I know I've seen that, and then I don't know if that's this weekend. They're having that little, like a kids thing for the kids where they come and fish, which this is through the state of some song and all that, but more or less the thoughts on the Alabama Crappie Trail. Instead of having a tournament at every event, if Alabama Crappie Trail put on an event that was like a crappie camp, just people come and fish and hang out and cook them and invite people, maybe even people that don't have a boat that could get on the boat with some guys, you know, that do and just go out and have a good time. What do y'all think about that? You know,
I think it's a good idea. Shane Jones done it a little while back and had a pretty good turnout. I might have to miss it because of work, but
yeah.
Some folks have to work.
And they're having another one in 1st of June over in Lake Eufaula.
1st of June.
I like it. Lake Eufaula's good too. It's ate up with fish. Yeah.
You got a guided trip that day, and we leave to Logan the next day, so you can't go.
Yep. That's about right. That is about right. And then Jason was asking where y'all are from, Scott and Derek.
Right now we're about 8 miles north of Coffeyville Locking Dam. We're over in Choctaw County. So we fish from Coffeyville south to Coffeyville north. A lot of places all the way. We live just south of Butler, Alabama.
Butler. Mm. I don't know if that same Butler that beat us at Wallace that year in basketball, did he? Or is that a different Butler? Oh, okay. I was about to have
this is over. We're right on the Mississippi line. We're over.
He's in Butler County.
Oh, okay.
We're in Choctaw County.
Choctaw County, okay.
That's right.
Is that close to Pickens?
Pickens is north of the interstate, and we're south of the interstate 20.
Okay. All right.
See, y'all should be deer hunting then during the wintertime.
Yeah, there's a lot of deer hunting going on around here around Coffeyville. We're not far from the Choctaw National Wildlife Refuge. We're at the camp right now, honestly, right here on 30-acre lake.
See, Brandon's got him a deer in the background up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that ain't mine. I stopped deer hunting a long time ago.
I can show you one good one. He's 157 that's hanging on the wall. That boy of mine killed a few years back in front of dogs. We still dog hunt around here also.
Yeah, so we can't do that up here. There's only very few places I reckon to be more.
That way.
Yeah. Well, we thank y'all for joining us and sharing some information, and good luck on the next one. Maybe I'll be back on here. Y'all are on a roll right now. You got a bit of a hot streak 2 in a row. You got a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, right.
Well, he had 2 in a row, and then he skipped 2 or 3, and now he's got 2 again.
Yeah, but we got to go to Ryan's back door now.
Well,
sometimes that backfires on you.
Yeah,
a lot of times it does.
He knows exactly where he's going.
So, but thank y'all. Thank everybody that tuned in. To watch and support.
Thank y'all for what y'all do. Y'all do a lot of work. We appreciate it.
Well, when Jason decides to be assistant director, we'll do 10.
That ain't gonna happen. We done been in it before.
You done been in it before? Look, I've never dreamed how much work it was. I imagine it's a lot of work just to do them and show up and just pay out like these little clubs. But when you're trying to give prizes and make the payouts $2,000, $2,500, or $5,000, that involves a lot of work.
That's about a full-time job, but how you doing it?
Well, this year's been tough. I ain't had as much time this year as I did last year. I got too many real jobs that's going on, and so it took away. And maybe the prizes wasn't as good because I didn't get to talk to as many people, but I still think it's way better than it ever was in Alabama.
Yeah, it's paying out better than a 50-boat bass tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, and and even with our turnouts, when you start comparing, the ones that keep up with national trails, I think there's a bunch of different reasons why turnouts are down across the country in the crappie fishing, but we're really not doing very bad at all, with turnouts in comparison. So I think we got a good thing. And even with the work, it's still fun. It's still fun to see everybody.
Turnouts might be down a little bit because a couple of years ago you could get a buggy full of growth for 200 nights, 450.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, and you could get gas for $2 a gallon a few years ago, and now it's $3.49.
Yep.
Anybody for next year that might have any locations that might donate or sponsor the trail, it don't benefit me because I spend thousands of dollars last year and this year out of my pocket just to travel and do this for everybody to come have fun. And the reason I do is I've met so many people that's like a whole family that you would have never met in your lifetime if you didn't do this with a tournament fishing, and they've got to go to a lot of places that I never would have went to. in my lifetime just to go and visit and try to fish. So if you know anybody that might do a sponsorship, we'll pass their logos on and talk about them and post them on our Facebook page from time to time. And if you in Division 2 or Division 1, they can dictate where they want that money to go. So it just makes it better for everybody.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate y'all joining us.
Thank y'all.
And good luck on the championship. I hope you do good. I hope you don't do better than me, though. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe y'all be back with us and join us for the recap on it. It's just, the main thing with this, it adds to the algorithm of the social media, having that live content published out there. And it's helped us grow here over the last couple months on follower count. So we appreciate it. Thank everybody that tuned in. Catch y'all on the next one. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
See y'all later.